So we have Boruto chapter 54 titled Bro, and all I gotta say is that both Sasuke and Kawaki, they're my goats. They put the team on their back and they carried this chapter, bro. Without them, none of this would have happened. They would have lost to Boroshiki. Everyone would have died. Yo, Sasuke put the team on his back and so did Kawaki, man. Everyone was making fun of Sasuke because he lost his Rinnegan, but just because he lost his Rinnegan, don't make him useless. My man was putting in that work against Boroshiki, man. He really put in work this chapter as he was very impressive. He was the one who actually deduced that Boroshiki, he can't absorb chakra or else Boruto will wake up from his consciousness and will take back control of his body. So of course this chapter starts off with Boroshiki saying, I finally got rid of your space-time ninjutsu, now you guys can't escape. Now I can just finally kill you guys off. And this is where both Kawaki and Sasuke both begin to fight Boroshiki, and Kawaki goes in first and he is angry. He is mad that Momoshiki has taken control over Boruto's body and now he's trying to wake him up. And this is where we see Kawaki, he's pissed, he's tight because he has that empathy. He just feels so bad for Boruto because he understands that he's being used as an object. And Kawaki says that too. He's like, I'm just sick and tired of people being used as objects. He understands Boruto's pain and that's why he's trying to fight Momoshiki. You know, Kawaki, he's using wood style, he's trying to do his best, but Boroshiki, he's just too much. And this is where we see Sasuke pull up, and Sasuke, he's putting in that work, man. We see a flashback of Sasuke telling Boruto that if you ever go into Boroshiki form, I will stop you, I will kill you no matter what, with all my strength as your master. This is where we see Sasuke's resolve. Despite not having the Rinnegan, he is putting in that work. We see him spam Amaterasu, we see him use Chidori, Fireball Jutsu. He was able to deduce that Boroshiki, he wasn't able to absorb chakra. I do want to mention earlier in this chapter, Boroshiki did say something pretty insane. He did say that Kawaki is 80% complete with this Karma Seal. Obviously, you know, last chapter, Kawaki didn't get the Karma Seal. Ishiki did die, and Kawaki, we did see him jump on top of Ishiki. So Ishiki is 100% dead, but Boroshiki does say something pretty concerning about Kawaki. He says, I mean that even if karma itself has vanished, the Otsutsuki data that was extracted still remains in your body. Just as with Boruto, the process was at about 80% complete in you. That's right, your body is almost wholly Otsutsuki at this point. So at this point, right, Kawaki, even though he doesn't have the Karma Seal, he is basically an Otsutsuki at this point, which is really interesting because this adds more to the Otsutsuki lore as we learn more about how the Karma Seal actually works. We already have a bunch of information on how it already is, but now we're getting even more information as we find out that Momoshiki is planning to feed Kawaki to the Ten Tails to harvest the chakra fruit. This is the same plan that Ishiki was trying to do with Boruto. Hence why back in chapter 50, Ishiki wasn't willing to kill Boruto because he was planning to feed Boruto to the Ten Tails to harvest the chakra fruit. So this is also Momoshiki's plan. You see the parallels between not only Boruto and Kawaki, but also with Momoshiki and Ishiki. So I like this from Kishimoto. Kishimoto, man, like ever since he came back from Boruto chapter 52, taking over from Kodachi, he hasn't been missing, bro. You don't get a Kishimoto chapter without flashbacks, and as we saw in this chapter, there was a lot of flashbacks, especially with Boruto. We saw Vase-kun again. We saw how Boruto and Kawaki's relationship was. Kawaki, while fighting Boroshiki, he was having flashbacks about Boruto, about the relationship when they first met, about how Kawaki remade that vase. We saw how Kawaki was able to bond with Boruto, and Kawaki was able to connect with his character, and that's how he was able to feel his pain. That's why he was so angry when he was fighting Momoshiki, because he didn't like how people were being used as objects, just like he was when he was with Kara. And going back to the fight, Sasuke does tell Kawaki that, yo, Boroshiki, he can't absorb chakra, because if he does, Boruto will wake up and ruin Boroshiki's plan, which is of course to take Kawaki to the Ten Tails to feed him to harvest the chakra fruit. So this is where Boroshiki actually uses Vanishing Rasengan on Sasuke, and I've seen a lot of people angry about this, that Sasuke was hit by the Vanishing Rasengan. All I gotta say is that Sasuke's Sharingan wasn't active at that time, so of course he couldn't see that Vanishing Rasengan. He just used Amaterasu, and he is very tired. I know it's a meme that he's out of chakra, but he basically is out of chakra. This guy is really tired. He just got his ass whooped by Ishiki. He barely survived that fight. I don't even think he even recovered from the Jigen fight. Like, he was already in a weakened state by the time he was about to fight Ishiki. So once after the Ishiki fight, he's gassed. Like, Sasuke is running on fumes right now, and he's barely able to use his Eternal Mangekyou Sharingan. So of course, Boruto using that Vanishing Rasengan, it does make sense that it hit Sasuke because Sasuke's Sharingan wasn't active. If Sasuke's Sharingan was active, Sasuke would definitely be able to see the Vanishing Rasengan with his Sharingan if it was active. But however, it wasn't active at the time, so he did get hit. So Sasuke got hit, he's really hurt, he's down bad, he can't do anything, so it's all up to Kawaki. And of course, Boroshiki, he's going in, he's trying to capture Kawaki and trying to use the Karma Seal to take Kawaki to the Ten Tails to feed him to harvest this chakra fruit. And this is where we get a lot of flashbacks. This is classic Kishimoto, as we see here with the Vase-kun, we see with Boruto. It says, how are you gonna make up for that? You're still going on about that. I apologized already. I'll go find something, okay? A replacement. That good enough? That's the part of you that I don't like. Then we get another flashback. It's not just about karma for me anymore at this point. You're too important to me to leave you be, right bro? And these two flashbacks being shown back to back, it shows you the parallels how Boruto was treating Kawaki. At first we saw in the earlier chapters when Kawaki was introduced into the story, and when he was first quote unquote adopted by Naruto, Boruto hated Kawaki. He didn't like him at all. He just didn't like him as a person. However, as they bonded together, Boruto did embrace Kawaki as his brother, and we do see this from the flashback with Kawaki as he is reminiscing about how Boruto was as a character and how their relationship has developed. You know, this relationship with these characters, I wasn't really into it like that, but now after seeing these flashbacks and seeing how they developed with each other as characters, it shows you just how important Boruto is to Kawaki. I know Kawaki holds Naruto to his life. I know he loves Naruto, but he also has care for Boruto. We see it in these flashbacks. He really does care about him, and that shows you the development between each character. And this is where Boroshiki tries to take Kawaki away. He's trying to teleport him using the Karma Seal to the Ten Tails, but this is where Kawaki actually uses a fire style jutsu to burn himself. And this is some big brain plays from Kawaki, as this forces Momoshiki to absorb the fire style technique, which actually uses the chakra to weaken Boruto again. And this is where we actually see Boruto take control over his body again. He says, "That's enough, Momoshiki. I'm gonna take my body back again. It's time for you to go back to your hiding place." And this is where we see Boruto break the horn off Momoshiki, and this is where Boruto takes back control of his body. And this is where the chapter ends, as we see Boruto and Kawaki laying down next to each other saying, "Sorry to be trouble," and then he says, "Back to you, stupid bro." And this is where we get the last panel of chapter 54, and we see Naruto on the ground. I discussed it in my spoilers video, but it does look like Naruto's in a bad position. I don't think he's dead. I do think he's in a coma currently, because he just used the Baryon mode, and we know that the Baryon mode takes away so much life force, and we don't know what Kurama's position is either. But this is how the chapter ends. This basically wraps up the arc of the Ishiki / Kawaki arc, the Kawaki retrieval arc, whatever you want to call it. But this arc has wrapped up, and I think we're going into the time skip soon. I think once they get back, I think a couple more chapters have to be dropped, and then we're going to see 16-year-old Boruto, 16-year-old Kawaki. I do want to mention, however, Kawaki's Otsutsukification. Just like Momoshiki said, Kawaki's Karma Seal has processed to about 80%, just like Boruto. And I do think in the future that Ishiki, despite being dead, I think his spirit will linger around and will manifest inside Kawaki's body. And this is how he'll get the Karma Seal again, because there was enough data that produced onto Kawaki's body to be fed to the Ten Tails. Since there was enough data, I do think the Karma Seal will reappear inside Kawaki again. Maybe this is how Kawaki becomes a bad guy. Ishiki takes over his mind, his spirit lingers on, and it manifests inside Kawaki. And this is how he becomes a villain in the story. As we do see in episode 1, it does seem like Kawaki is the quote-unquote bad guy. This was an amazing chapter. I love this chapter. You know, this was the best way to wrap up this arc. No one died, thankfully. Sasuke, Naruto, none of them died. Sasuke balled out, Kawaki balled out. Boruto did his thing, of course. He stopped Momoshiki. You know, without Kawaki or Sasuke, they definitely would have lost in this fight. Kishimoto balled out, and I forgot to mention Ikemoto. Ikemoto did a great job. I think this is one of his best chapters he has drawn. To be honest with you, with this arc, I've seen his art style became a little bit lazy. He was hitting during the Kashin Koji vs Ishiki fight. I think that was his best span of chapters. He did ball out in this chapter. The paneling was good. He did spam a lot of action lines / speed lines, but it wasn't that bad. For some reason, I do think when it comes to like fire, whenever someone uses like a fire style jutsu or just like Amaterasu, it just looks so good. Like the paneling that Ikemoto portrayed when Kawaki was trying to burn himself and Momoshiki's reaction, it just looks so good. I'm ready to get into this time skip, man. Especially with Kawaki, man. His Otsutsukification is 80%. That is kind of scary because even though he has lost his Karma Seal, I still think Ishiki is lingering around in his spirit and will one day manifest in his body. But overall, let me know how you think about this chapter in the comment section below. So if you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell as well, and have a good day. Peace.